Augmented sixth chords. You are familiar with the leading tone, which is the seventh scale step in a major scale, and the raised seventh scale step in minor. But other leading tones are possible. In fact, you can give any note of the scale its own leading tone. Remember, a leading tone is a half step away and a different letter name. These are examples in the key of C. In the key of C, D is the supertonic. C sharp is the leading tone to D, so C sharp is the supertonic leading tone. The mediant is E. D sharp is the mediant leading tone. The dominant is G. F sharp is the dominant leading tone. Now you need to remember this one, it's really important. And the submediant is A, so G sharp is the submediant leading tone. There are also leading tones that resolve down a half step. These are called Phrygian leading tones. Examples in the key of C. C is tonic, so D flat goes down a half step to C. D flat is the tonic Phrygian leading tone. The supertonic is D, so E flat is the supertonic Phrygian leading tone. The subdominant of F, the Phrygian leading tone, is G flat, so G flat is the subdominant Phrygian leading tone. The dominant is G, so A flat is the dominant Phrygian leading tone. Again, remember this one. The leading tones to the dominant are very important. The submediant is A, so B flat is the submediant Phrygian leading tone. There are two leading tones that will appear in each of the augmented six chords. These two leading tones are the most important altered tones in common practice harmony. They are the sharp fourth scale degree and the flat sixth scale degree. The origin of two leading tones to the tonic dates back to the 16th century. The leading tone ascends a minor second to a tonic in the clausula vera cadence, and the lowered second scaled step descends a minor second to the tonic in the Phrygian cadence. These two leading tones are never used together in the 16th century, but definitely, according to W. Francis Macbeth, our augmented six chords were derived from the combination of the clausula vera and the Phrygian cadences. Early composers actually wrote the augmented six relationship resolving to the tonic. Later composers chose to use the augmented six resolution to the 5 instead of 1, because as theory progressed, the ornamentation or strengthening of the chords that resolved to 5 became preferred over the ornamentation or strengthening of the sonorities that resolve to tonic. These two leading tones will be named the dominant leading tones, the sharp fourth scale degree, and the dominant Phrygian leading tone, the flat sixth scale degree. Spelling the augmented sixth chord. We'll use C major. First, find the dominant. In C major, G is the dominant. The second step is to add the two leading tones to the dominant leading tone and the dominant Phrygian leading tone. So F sharp is the leading tone to the dominant and A flat is the Phrygian leading tone because they both go to G. The third step is to add the tonic. So you have the F sharp and the A flat, the two leading tones. the tonic in the key of C is C. So add the C. In fact, this is the first augmented sixth chord you will learn. It's called the Italian Augmented Sixth. The Italian Augmented Sixth is found in the French Augmented Sixth and the German Augmented Sixth. Now, let's look at how we spelled the Italian Augmented Sixth in C major. Step 1 is to find the dominant. Step 2, add the dominant leading tone and the dominant Phrygian leading tone, which are F sharp and A flat. Third, add the tonic. Now, when you're part writing augmented sixth chords, the Phrygian leading tone goes in the bass. And here's how it looks in C minor. Now, let's spell a French augmented sixth chord. As I told you, every one of the augmented sixth chords begins with the Italian augmented sixth. So the steps will be: find the dominant in C is G. Add the two leading tones. The F sharp goes up to dominant. The A flat goes down to the dominant. Add the tonic. Now this should look familiar because this is the Italian augmented sixth. The difference in the Italian and the French is you add the second scale degree in the key to make it French augmented sixth. So in the key of C, you would add a D because that's the second scale degree. And remember, the Phrygian leading tone goes in the bass when you part write it. So write the A flat in the bass when you start to part write. And this is how it looks in C minor. Notice that there's only one accidental, the sharp 4. Everything else is already in the minor key. Now let's look at the German augmented sixth chord. Again, you'll start with the Italian augmented sixth. So the steps are: find the dominant, which is G. Add the two leading tones, the F sharp and the A flat. Add the tonic, which is C. Now, to make it a German augmented sixth, you add the lowered third scale degree. Notice when you add the lower third scale degree that the upper three notes, starting with the A flat or the Phrygian leading tone, build a major triad: A flat, C, E flat. This is going to be very important later on. Always know that you have a major triad in the German augmented sixth. Again, the Phrygian leading tone goes in the bass. So the A flat will go in the bass when we start to part write. And here is how it looks in minor. Again, all of the accidentals are in the minor key. So the F sharp is the only accidental that you add when you're writing the augmented sixth in the minor key. Now, let's part write the Italian augmented sixth chord. It's very easy to part write because there aren't very many choices. First, write your augmented sixth chord and resolve the leading tones. The A flat will go down to G. The F sharp will go up to G. Then fill in the other voices. Go to the nearest available position. You can also resolve it to the second inversion tonic chord. And here it is in C major. Many more accidentals when you write it in a major key. Alright, now let's part write the French augmented sixth chord. First, resolve the leading tones. Now remember, there's a 7th in the French Augmented 6 and the German Augmented 6. So you have to resolve those correctly. A 7th resolves down by step. So write the French Augmented 6 chord and resolve the 2 leading tones. The A flat goes down to G, the F sharp goes up to G. Then fill in the other voices to the nearest available positions. Now the C is the 7th of the chord, so it must go down by step. Okay, now you can also resolve the French Augmented 6 to the 2nd inversion tonic chord, and that's what this looks like. And you can put it in major. Partwriting the German Augmented 6 chord. Well, you know the first step by now. You resolve the leading tones. Now the German Augmented 6 has a 7th, and I always suggest you put the 7th in parentheses. So resolve the leading tones and the Phrygian leading tones in the bass. It will go down to a G, the F sharp will go up to a G. Now, there's a special, well, let's just look at the German Augmented 6 chord. If I resolve it to 5, notice the parallel fifths. You don't want parallel fifths. The way to not have parallel fifths is to go through the 1-6-4 before you go to the 5. And here's the German Augmented 6 chord in major. That's how to write all 3 of the Augmented 6 chords and how to resolve them.